So I wanted to go through and show a little bit about the things that we're doing here besides just aerial photography. I just put out a video where we were showing some music to go through a project using two different drones. And the video is playing music, but this is actually what we're really doing here is, if we take a look, we've used these drones to create these models so we can get information in regards to what's going on at the property. And we've scanned this area once so far, and we're going to continue to do this as we progress. As you can see here, we can get information such as the foundation square footage of the project that's going on. If we look over here, we're able to calculate the amount of material that's on site, and we can from that gather on how much dollars it's worth once we know the price per square foot. These are just some of the tools that we can use here, looking at elevation data, so we can go in and determine exactly what's level, what's not. This can be adjusted here as well. And then what's really interesting about this program is you can go into, when you're in a 3D model, if you want to look at your map photos here, you can see where the drone has captured the different pictures to put this 3D model together. And any one of these can be looked at in detail. So for example, if I want to see exactly what this particular picture was showing at the time, I can zoom in here, and then this is the actual photo that shows what was taking place there. And then once we're in here, we can make annotations. If we don't like the fact that, let's say over here, that these pipes, they shouldn't have quite been in that particular area, we can actually notate that by making a selection and saying that this needs to be fixed. Simply just go in there. You can put what the issue is. Observation, not in correct place. Done. Then when you exit out of that photo, you're going to see there's that notation there later that we can click on that can be reviewed. And so this information is done by us. We actually go out and capture this stuff, and then we send links to this information to you, so you can go online and actually do what I'm doing right now and go through and figure out what it is that needs to be addressed. So this is kind of looking at a commercial property we just did. We could go in and look at, for example, another property would be a house here. This is a house where we did a map plan based on a bunch of different issues, as you can see that's going on here. And again, if we go down to a 3D model here, we can render this into three-dimensional and come down, and I'm going to get rid of these map photos. We don't need to see those. But as you can see, we could look at this house here and see a bunch of different annotations that are being made. For example, there's some surface area that needs water in this particular area. We got the square foot of the roof on this here. These are just sample things that we can actually go on and do. And once we have them, we can come in and generate this information into reports. So for example, if we got issue reports that we want to look at, we can generate that into an issue report and send this over, which is going to tell us all the observations of what it is that we're looking at. Roof inspections, for example, here is another good feature that we can do with these reports as well. So and then let's go look at one other one here. We'll just bring up let's see, let's bring up Wendy's. Where's Wendy's at? Wendy's. And again here, this is another different method of reporting. This is a project we worked on for some fuel stations, electronic charging stations that they're going to be putting in. We created a panorama so we can actually go in and look in detail at the current status of the parking lot. These are also good to look at roof for inspections and things like that. But going back to our 3D model here, what we're able to do is capture information that could be very important for different projects that you have going on. For example, we can look at contours I can look at elevations and say I want to change this and look and see different feet of what it is and how high buildings are. It's clearly 0 feet down in the parking lot there. We can't change this particular one because it's a project that's been locked down, but I'll go show you afterwards. But what we can do is like analyze, for example, here what we're looking at in this particular case, or the drainage of the parking lot. So these lines here we created actually look to show what the slope percentage is, so we get a general idea of where the flow of water is going to go. Of course, that's important when you're putting electric charging stations in. But this is more essentially what we're doing here in this particular one. This probably will turn into a roof inspection as well, because as you can see, there's some major issues going on up on this roof here that needs some attention. So a report will be put together for that as well under these circumstances. And going back, let's see here, we'll bring up the McConnell Foundation here for the church. And I do not have contours locked down on this one, so I can go back and give an example of the contours, what it is that we're looking at in that case here. When I hit the contours now, I can go in and I can see, how many feet where in this case, in this example, the church, 21 feet, 12 feet there. And then the lines here represent basically 0 feet. Now all this can be calibrated too. So for example, I can set 0 feet at any particular location I want. If I want this sidewalk to be 0 feet, everything else in this map will be based around how many feet it is from this sidewalk. And one of the last things I want to talk about was the outputs that we can produce with this information that we've gathered in these 2D and 3D models. Again, going back here, this is rendering of a 3D model. Again, we talked about being able to look at areas, measurements, safety hazards. But the other thing that we can do with this, and this gets more important as the project progresses, but if we go to the export file over here, we can actually send this information to the client here, whether it's PDF maps, JPEG, TIFF, point clouds, elevations. For example, if we want to go in here and give them elevation data that they need to use, but they want it in a AutoCAD format, or raw elevation values, DEM as it's referred to, we can produce this export for the client. Same thing with the digital terrain model here. We can go in here and change this information to anything that the customer is looking for to use in their particular software. The 3D model itself can actually be exported as an OBJ object, which can again allow this model to be analyzed in other programs besides Drone Deploy, which is what we currently use. So those are just some of the things that I wanted to talk about, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you and have a good day.